first ever live call with a consultation. We've had them before, but this is going to be the first one when we try to film this and post it on social. So let's give it a shot.
Thank you for calling. Press 1 to continue to our main line.
Here we go. Just want to be super clear from the start. This call is totally for you, and I just want to help you get whatever answers you're looking for. Nothing is off the table except for legal stuff. Sound good?
Yeah, so no legal questions. I gotcha.
Yeah, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not pretending to be.
Good. No, that's the best advice right there. Oh, I've been looking at your offering and kind of partnering with y'all and looking at everything, and I just kind of wanted to kind of walk through the business model a little bit and to see, what I'm missing, because it seems like it's pretty straightforward. I know that where I'm located at, there's not anyone really doing anything similar to this, not on a mobile standpoint at least. We have Topgolf here, and we also have that just popped up recently a few little simulator businesses that are popping up in strip centers, but I don't see anyone doing it mobile. So I'm really interested in kind of getting a little bit more information and seeing what I don't know. That's kind of the question, is I don't know what I don't know. So, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're seeing that there's a market for this. Just no one really knows about it in your area, and there could be an opportunity there. And that's exactly where we were about a year ago when we started this business. So, you're on the right track just by like having this call. Like, you're in front of 99% of the people out there. And I just like where your head's at. You see an opportunity and you want to see how that would shake out. So did you have any specific questions on like the actual business itself, or just in general how it works?
So I see that there's a couple of different ways to generate revenue. Anything from your one-man show platform to where you're renting it out to dropping it off at someone's house, maybe say for a day or over a weekend or something like that, versus setting that up in restaurants or bars or different establishments, versus your larger setup, your pro setup, where you would want to set those up maybe in larger events, larger weddings, or even bars that have larger crowds, or there's a big convention tourism industry where I'm at, and that's always something that can be set up there. So I'm kind of interested in the difference between those two, the learning curve between the two, and then even the pricing between those two models.
Yeah, of course. So the one-man show setup, that's a really new concept that we came up with pretty recently, but we felt like if we were going to basically remotely teach people how to do this, that's the best way to start, because it is kind of like dipping your toes in. You basically just need to learn the tech. And once you get comfortable with the one-man show setup, which is everything in the pro setup, except you take out the big inflatable bay and you replace it with a TV monitor or just like a computer monitor, and that's how you get started, and you learn that way. Once you're comfortable with that, you can kind of like progress into the pro setup and start learning some of those other features that can get you that higher ticket price. So the one-man show setup is also another great opportunity to just gauge interest. Like once you learn how to do it, you can set it up in like 15 minutes and do it for free for a local restaurant or something, and it doesn't take too much of your time. It doesn't even take too much effort, and you're getting footage, you're getting, videos of your setup in that space. You're also creating a customer, just adding legitimacy to the concept in your area. And then, you post that on some of your socials, and then that kind of gets the ball rolling. You kind of figure out whether or not there's some interest in your area. And that's a good way to do it, is to start there.
Yeah, there's definitely an easier entry point with the price, getting that type of a setup, testing the market, dipping your foot in, kind of like you said, for sure. And the larger setup, how much longer does it take to set that up versus the one-man setup?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So we really did create the pro setup thinking that this was the quickest setup you could ever come up with. And we still believe in that. It's still, I think, the truth for the size of the setup and what it comes with. We do think that it's pretty much as quick as it can get. We've really boiled it down to the most compact, simplest setup you can come up with that still looks high touch. And so for the pro setup, you can get it done in about 30 minutes. The bay inflates in about 4 minutes. And while that's going, you can start to put down your mats, run your wires, get your tech set up, get the projector running, warm that up. And all in all, before you're going, you can do it in about a half an hour for an indoor event. For an outdoor event, it takes a little bit longer, maybe about an hour. Just because there's a little bit more that you need to set up. Like you have to set up a tent for keeping the sun out, and that takes about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even a half an hour. So you want to leave yourself enough time to really make it look good and get things right for an outdoor event. So that's why it takes a little bit longer. Whereas inside, yeah, it's just like push the button and it inflates, and then it's just the tech. The one-man show setup, it's really like a 15-minute thing. Yeah, there's a few pieces that you put together with the net. It's very, very simple. I think it's 6 pieces total. And then you just run the net across it. And then it's just throw the mat down. It's just a really quick USB or HDMI to USB-C to the iPad, and you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I saw on your, I think one of your Instagram posts that there was an outdoor event, and you had the tent set up. Because I like your inflatable setup because it's smaller than some of the big inflatables. That's been kind of a barrier to me. I don't want to carry around a huge, heavy, large inflatable. So it looks like your inflatable part is smaller. But then I saw that they do have a tent that they're setting up for to block the sun out. What size is that tent? Is that a 10 by 10? And do you have enough space in there to put a driver?
Yeah, absolutely. So the bay itself is 12 feet wide, and we got a 12 by 12 foot tent. Now, the tent is not currently on the shopping list. I don't believe. I may have updated that, but I'll have to double check. It's about, I think it was like $160, the tent we got. And then we got some extra curtains, some like double thick curtains to block the sun out, which we hang and string across both sides and a little bit on the back. But yeah, it's just a 12 foot by 12 foot tent. If you don't have the tent, it's not going to show. So you have to have something blocking the sun. That is very crucial for an outdoor setup. And that's another reason why I think it is super important to have conversations with people who've been in the business before. That's something I've heard horror stories where, new golf sim owners have reached out and they told me that they've done events and they couldn't see a thing on the screen because they didn't even think about the sun being an issue. There's no amount of lumens on a projector that can beat the sun. So it's a constant battle for all of us. Yeah. And so to answer your question, I think was, can you swing a driver? Yes, you can. We haven't had anyone hit the tent at all. We do put the tent up on, I think, another 18 inches. So we've created like a stilt situation where the tent pops up just another 18 inches. Yeah. But that's something that, like, yeah, if you were to join our network or even buy the ebook and you had questions about that on a consultation call like this, I would send you exactly what we bought and give you the exact same setup if it is something you wanted to do.
Yeah. I was looking at the tent going, wow, how do I, because I've been in a 10 by 10 tent, I was thinking, I can't. I'm 6'4", I'm not sure I could hit a driver in here. But that explains that you have a larger tendon that's up a little bit higher. That's good.
Yep, that's exactly what we did. Yep.
What about the other equipment? You almost golf balls. I've actually not heard of those before. What are almost golf balls, and why do you use those?
So almost golf balls are exactly what it sounds like. They're almost golf balls. They're foam. I'm actually holding one right now, and it's basically a hard foam. It's hard enough to replicate, we think, to like 99% a real golf ball for your low irons, like your pitching wedge, sand wedge, up to like the 8-iron. And then when you get into like the 5-iron and shorter, you start to lose a little bit of distance, but it's still like 80% accurate all the way up to driver. So like, let me just give you an example. If you do bomb your driver 300 yards, you might hit the foam ball like 270. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but you're letting the customer know that safety is the first priority. And when you're inside a restaurant or a brewery or an event space, you do not want golf balls flying around. So that's a conversation you can have with the business owner. And since I've introduced the foam golf balls, not a single business owner has opted for the real golf ball. We're at the point where we don't even ask anymore. We just bring them, we use them, customers love them. No one can really tell the difference. So we swear by the almost golf balls. We'll be using them for a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really good because I didn't even think of that. I know that if you're in an establishment or something and you hit a golf ball and it for some reason bounces off the inflatable or comes out, then that could do a lot of damage. I haven't even heard of the almost golf balls, so that's very interesting. And I can see how since you're doing this truly for entertainment more so than teaching or tracking your data, that I can't imagine why anyone would have a problem with that. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, hundreds, thousands of golfers have stepped up and hit one of these at our events, and we haven't heard a single complaint. It's more people are just impressed when they realize it's fake, and they're just like, "Wow, I had no idea." So, and you're right. It's an entertainment. We're here to have fun. We're not here to like win a PGA Tour event. You know, we're all just having fun. So.
And what do you do with clubs? Do you always take clubs along when you're doing it, or I guess if they're doing the one-man show, they could use their own clubs, and you could upsell them renting clubs from you. How many sets of clubs do you, if you were going to like a bar or something doing an event, how many different sets of clubs would you make to offer to people?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We do rent our clubs. So we do a $50 rental for right and left-hand clubs. And then, yeah, you're right. There are, we've done like tournaments and restaurants and things like that. And depending on the business owner, if they're okay with, 12 people bringing their personal golf clubs in, that's fine with us. We don't mind.
That's cool. And do you ever do like a hole-in-one contest where, you actually have like a prize?
At every one of our events, if you hit a hole-in-one, you get a free hat. That's like, we've only seen one at our event. So it was I posted that thing on social. People love the video. It's really fun. It was a really fun moment when this guy hit the hole-in-one. It was actually a pretty clutch moment in the night. We had like a little tournament going, and he had to get close to the pin, and he got just about as close as you can get with the hole-in-one. And the whole bar went pretty crazy. It was a really good time. We do have, when we do closest to the pin competitions, we do give away prizes every 1 hour. So we'll just track the closest to the pin for every hour. So the first guy gets up there or gal gets up there and they hit it 8 feet. They write their name and their distance. And then if the next person hits it 5 feet, they erase that one and put theirs. And so it just gets lower and lower until the end of the hour. And the winner gets a prize. And we usually work with the vendor. If it's like an event planner or something, they usually have some sort of swag. Usually the vendor has like gift cards or just a t-shirt or hats, or they'll put together some little tote bag full of prizes, and we'll give that out every hour.
That's cool. So you're letting the venue promote their, themselves, their products by doing this. Are you collecting the participants, email? Are they signing some sort of a waiver that you're actually getting that information, that marketing data back to the facility so they can kind of, add them into their loyalty club or reach out to them and say, thanks for coming out on Thursday night. Are you collecting that data also and providing it back to the facility or the customer?
We aren't asking our participants to do anything. We're there as just a form of entertainment, and we want it to be very easy. We're very clear about if it's a free event, like, hey, step up. This is free. We want you to come up, have fun, take a shot. If you get close to the pin, you have a chance to win a prize. That's really cool and easy and fun. So we don't ask them to do anything other than take the swing, and we'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, so I just was wondering, like I said, I don't know what I don't know. What is anything that I should be asking you or asking about that I haven't touched on?
That's a really good question. Most people who are starting this business aren't starting this business to replace their day job. And maybe they do in some capacity want to do that in the future, but it's really hard unless you're going to invest a lot of time and money into this to just go from like 0 to 60 and make it a full-time job. And so then I thought to myself, well, what if there was a way for somebody to find out if it's something they want to do, but not have to invest like the $10,000 to learn that lesson. So I created the ebook and the one-man show setup so that people can kind of, like I said earlier on the call, dip their toes in and figure out, is this something I can do with a little bit less risk, and they can do it on their own. They're not relying on anybody else. And you know what? If worse comes to worse, at the end of the day, I have a golf simulator and I can set it up in my backyard or my garage or whatever. So that's kind of like the idea of the one-man show setup. But we're here to help if it is something you really want to do. I'd always recommend learning from the professional, learning from somebody who's done it before, because they're going to save you so much time. And again, this call is probably answering a lot of questions for you and some of the people watching that may save you time down the road. And so like if you can put that on an even bigger scale, where it comes down to like every little aspect, having somebody to answer that question without you learning and failing and trying over again saves you a lot of time and effort in the long run. And
yeah, no, that's good. You actually prompted another question. It's going to sound silly, but do I have to be able to play golf to be able to do this? Because, I'm not much of a golfer.
Yeah, so I would say you don't have to be a golfer, that's for sure. I would say it's definitely going to be helpful to know the game and to kind of know the terminology and understand how to swing a club and to kind of get up there and kind of show how a little kid or somebody who's never swung before, give them a little pointer here and there. So it's helpful, but I also don't think it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a background, but I haven't played around the golf in probably 10 years, but I do go to Top Golf like once a month, so got that going for me.
If you own a golf simulator, you're going to get better at golf. That's just a fact. I actually shaved like 10 strokes off of my handicap over the one winter that I had a golf simulator. So who knows? Maybe there's this really amazing golfer inside you. You just haven't unveiled it yet.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there somewhere. I just have to have the time.
Yeah.
To go find that. So that's good, man. Awesome. You gave me lots of great information, lots to think about. It seems like, especially the one man, the setup is almost a no-brainer. It seems like it's really easy to get that going, and like you said, test it. I'm sure that running a couple of Facebook ads and getting set up and seeing how well that was received. I've actually already spoken to a few people that were like, oh yeah, I would do that. I read that. So that seems like a no-brainer to me for sure.
Well, that's you're already on the right track, and again, you're ahead of 99% of the people. Having this call with somebody like that's done this before. I know you purchased the ebook, and we've been chatting a little bit through email. Um, there are people doing this kind of like scattered all across the country, but there's still like an enormous piece of the pie in all these cities and all. I mean, people have bought the ebook, and yesterday someone bought one from Belgium. I've got 4 or 5 customers from Ireland. But again, that's another reason why we want to start this network. I know we talked a little bit about that too, and we're still ironing out some of our details with that. But we have a really good idea there, and I think what our goal is to just become, the website like an Uber or like an Airbnb where people go when they want to rent one of these things, and someone in our network will be able to help them with their golf simulator, just kind of funneled right through our website. So we want to become like the Kleenex for golf simulators, and that's really the goal. But first, we just need to build that network and create relationships across the country, and that's why we have calls like this with you and with people every day. So.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. I don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been extremely helpful. Nice chatting with you finally after emails back and forth and everything. I'm sure I'll probably have more questions, and I'll reach out to you.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. I hope you leave here today with feeling like you have some answers that you didn't have before, and maybe that creates some clarity of whether or not this is something you do want to do or if you don't want to do. And just remember that we're here if you have any questions, or if you do want to get started, we're the people to come find, and we'd be happy to help.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, so that was the first ever call that we've recorded. I had a lot of fun doing that. It is very weird being in front of the camera. It's just like such a different dynamic for me. Usually I'm like up and walking around and having these phone calls like very casually. And I think I'll get better at this, so bear with me. I think that he asked a lot of good questions, and probably a lot of questions that you guys have at home. So hopefully it was helpful for you. I know it was fun for me. I think that the customer on the phone got a lot of information, and we'll keep in touch. And I think he may be joining our network. I'm not sure about that. If you have any questions about the network or about the golf simulator, specifically what we use, what kind of equipment, or if you want to buy the ebook or what's in the ebook, whatever you have, just don't hesitate to email us at birdieexpressgolf@gmail.com, or visit our website and you can contact us there. There's a contact page. If this type of content is something that you like, please just let me know. I'll keep doing them. Again, first time here. The quality I think is going to look a little funny. I got to get a better camera. We've got to upgrade some of our things, and then the speakerphone situation, it's a little bit clunky, but bear with me as we figure this out. I'm just trying to see if it's something that people are actually interested in or if they're not. And but anyway, if this helped you, just make sure you hit subscribe, and try not to miss our next call, because there'll be another one coming. I'll probably do another call tomorrow or the next day, and edit these up over the weekend and maybe post them on Monday or Tuesday. And you guys can let me know. If you got any questions, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully this was helpful. I want to end the call right now. Go golf.